In the glitzy world of Hollywood where smiles shine as bright as the red carpet, and collaborations often make headlines for all the right reasons, something unusual is happening. Behind the scenes of one of the most anticipated movies of the decade, It Ends With Us, based on the emotionally charged and wildly best-selling novel by Colleen Hoover, was supposed to be a dream come true for readers and film lovers alike. A powerful story about love, trauma, and healing brought to life by two of the industry's most respected names, actress Blake Lively and actor-director Justin Baldoni. But what started as a celebration of storytelling has turned into a deep, complicated, and dangerously public battle, one that's no longer just about a film. It's about creative integrity, legal boundaries, and the fragile line between collaboration and conflict. When the adaptation of It Ends With Us was announced, the internet exploded. Fans of the book who had emotionally invested in Lily Bloom's journey couldn't wait to see the story on the big screen. Justin Baldoni was hailed as the perfect choice to direct a man known for sensitive projects like 5 Feet Apart and his efforts to redefine masculinity. And Blake Lively, known for her charm and acting prowess, was seen as the ideal actress to bring Lily's complicated past and strength to life. On paper, this pairing seemed perfect. But as months passed, cracks began to form beneath the surface. Production delays were the first clue. At first, they were chalked up to scheduling conflicts and weather. But then came the whispers of disagreements on set, conflicting visions for the film, and rising tensions between the leading actress and the director. Slowly, the narrative shifted from excitement to concern. What was really happening behind the scenes, and why were insiders hinting at legal teams being involved? Then things escalated. Media outlets started reporting on alleged disputes, creative disagreements that spilled into contractual territory. Some sources claimed Blake Lively had taken issue with how certain emotionally sensitive scenes were being handled, advocating for a portrayal that remained loyal to the book's raw vulnerability. Others said Baldoni, as the director, wanted to explore a more metaphorical and stylized narrative approach, perhaps at the cost of emotional realism. The result, a creative standoff with legal implications. Fans were left stunned. How could a movie rooted in healing and empowerment be torn apart by behind-the-scenes strife? Social media became a battlefield. Supporters rallied behind Blake for protecting Lily's story, while others stood by Justin's vision. As a director adapting challenging material, the hashtags #JusticeForLily and #ProtectTheVision started trending, with fan accounts analyzing every interaction, old interview, or subtle quote for hidden meaning. But this was no PR stunt. The situation had become serious and legal. Confidential documents reportedly started circulating online, indicating that lawyers were involved in negotiations around contractual obligations, script control, and character portrayal. Some outlets even suggested potential breaches of confidentiality. The quiet conflict had now turned into a very public and potentially damaging legal battle. And yet the two stars remained mostly silent. Blake Lively kept a calm public profile, avoiding the noise, while Justin Baldoni appeared equally focused, staying behind the camera lens and offering no major public statements. But silence in this case spoke volumes. Their absence from press tours, interviews, and promotional videos only added to the mystery and concern. What were they really fighting about, and who would ultimately have the final say over the film's message? In Hollywood, creative disputes are common, but rarely do they bubble to the surface like this. What makes this situation different is the emotional weight of the source material. It Ends With Us isn't just a romance, it's a personal story inspired by real-life trauma and domestic struggles. It carries deep meaning for readers who see themselves in Lily's journey of survival and self-love. To change that story even slightly means altering its emotional impact. And that's exactly where the problem lies. Sources close to the project say that both Blake and Justin feel a deep responsibility to do the story justice, but their interpretations of what that justice looks like differ significantly. For Blake, the priority appears to be staying faithful to the raw emotion of the original narrative. For Justin, it may be about creating a cinematic experience that resonates with wider audiences, even if that means changing elements of the story. Neither side is technically wrong, but their inability to find common ground has led to escalating consequences. Now, as legal teams negotiate, producers scramble to keep the film's release on track, and fans await answers. The question becomes, can this project survive the storm? Can two talented individuals, both committed in their own way, come together before this legal war derails everything? Welcome to It Ends With Chaos, the unfolding drama where art, ego, and emotion collide. This isn't just a behind-the-scenes story. This is a test of values, vision, and the power of storytelling in the modern age. Because in Hollywood, not all fairy tales make it to the happy ending. And sometimes the most intense scenes don't happen on camera, they happen behind it. In a world where movie magic is supposed to bring people together, a storm is brewing behind the scenes of one of the most anticipated adaptations in recent years. It ends with us. What was meant to be a touching cinematic experience has spiraled into a legal and emotional showdown between two of Hollywood's most talked about figures, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The internet is buzzing, fans are divided, and legal experts are watching closely. But how did things go from artistic collaboration to courtroom tension? It all started with Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel, a story deeply rooted in vulnerability, healing, and difficult choices. Justin Baldoni, known for his sensitive and introspective approach to storytelling, stepped in as director. Blake Lively, the star with an elegant public image and massive following, was cast as the lead. On the surface, it seemed like a match made in cinematic heaven. But as the cameras rolled and the pressure mounted, so did the friction behind the scenes. Reports began surfacing of creative differences between Lively and Baldoni, each allegedly pulling in opposite directions when it came to the vision for the film. Whispers of disagreements, overtone, emotional delivery, and even casting decisions began to surface. Fans noticed changes in the film's promotional materials, release dates shifted, and then shockingly legal documents started to emerge. While the public didn't have full access to every detail, one thing became clear. This was more than just a disagreement. This was turning into a full-blown legal standoff. Accusations, confidentiality issues, and conflicting narratives began leaking online. Social media became a battleground of speculation. Was Blake trying to protect the integrity of the novel, or was Justin being unfairly cornered? As a director trying to adapt a sensitive story with his own vision behind the headlines is a complex drama full of egos, creative ambition, and personal stakes. Today we'll take you through every twist and turn of this escalating conflict. An inside look at what's being dubbed "It Ends with Chaos." When Justin Baldoni announced he was adapting It Ends With Us, fans were thrilled. The story resonated deeply with millions around the world. Its emotionally intense plot, dealing with generational trauma, love, and resilience, made it the perfect candidate for a movie. Blake Lively's casting was met with equal excitement. Many saw her as the ideal choice to play Lily Bloom. But soon after filming began, murmurs started spreading. Several anonymous sources within the production crew hinted at disagreements between the lead actress and the director. These weren't just artistic discussions, they were reportedly intense and frequent. Lively, known for her meticulous approach to character development, allegedly requested rewrites and re-edits, pushing back on scenes that she felt didn't honor the essence of Lily. Baldoni, on the other hand, was said to be striving to make the story more universally cinematic, leaning into visual metaphors and non-linear storytelling that clashed with Blake's grounded performance style. Creative tension is common in film, but in this case it was starting to impact timelines and morale. Soon after, production halted for what was described as a scheduling delay, but insiders claimed the delay was due to behind-the-scenes negotiations, script revisions, and even legal consultations. The production team was reportedly split, some aligned with Baldoni's direction, others with Lively's commitment to character integrity. Then came the biggest shock: confidential information allegedly leaked online. Speculation flew that someone from inside the production had shared private emails between the stars and legal reps. Though not officially confirmed, the tone online became more intense. A simple adaptation was now the center of an unfolding legal storm. As the creative tensions escalated, both camps started bringing legal teams into discussions. According to multiple outlets, there were talks around breach of contract, non-disclosure violations, and even reputational harm. Neither Lively nor Baldoni have publicly commented in detail, but official filings and redacted court summaries suggest that multiple legal issues were in play. One of the main points of contention, a scene that allegedly portrayed a character in a way Blake strongly opposed. She reportedly felt it undermined the message of the book, especially the portrayal of domestic struggle and emotional healing. Baldoni defended it as a directorial choice that enhanced the complexity of the story. There were also reports that Lively requested certain scenes be edited out or reshot, but that Baldoni pushed back due to budget and artistic consistency. Legal professionals were brought in to navigate these negotiations, attempting to keep the production on track without compromising the film's vision or the reputations of those involved. But the tension didn't remain confined to the set. Soon public interest soared. Fan accounts began analyzing interviews, reading between the lines, and spreading theories. Did Blake walk off set temporarily? Was Baldoni considering recasting? Was the release of the movie in jeopardy? At the heart of the legal battle is something more emotional than contracts and courtrooms. It's about artistic ownership, personal values, and the weight of telling a story that deals with emotional scars. Both parties reportedly feel they are protecting the legacy of the story in their own way, but their opposing paths are creating ripples far beyond the set. The fanbase of It Ends With Us is passionate, vocal, and deeply invested. And as the conflict between Blake and Justin made headlines, fans took sides. Hashtag started trending, some calling for hashtag justice for Lily, others standing by hashtag team director. Fan theories, TikTok breakdowns, and even reaction videos flooded timelines. Some argue that Blake's alleged efforts to steer the story back to its emotional roots are heroic, standing up for victims and preserving the book's intention. Others believe Baldoni is the victim of overreach, trying to adapt a complex narrative for the big screen while being micromanaged. Then there are those simply heartbroken watching to creators they admire unravel in public. Comments on both stars' social media are filled with pleas to work it out and do it for the fans. Industry insiders are divided too. While some applaud Blake for speaking up creatively, others caution that disputes of this nature can risk an entire production. The business side of Hollywood waits anxiously. Distributors, marketers, and even streaming platforms are watching closely, unsure whether this legal chaos will delay the film or permanently derail it. Still, amid all the noise, many fans point out that this battle isn't just about two stars clashing. It's about the challenges of adapting emotionally sensitive material in a commercial landscape. When personal trauma becomes part of entertainment, boundaries blur. What one sees as bold storytelling, another sees as betrayal. As of the latest reports, production has resumed under tight restrictions. Legal teams are still negotiating the terms of final edits, and promotional materials have been delayed. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni have not made any joint appearances since the alleged conflict became public. There are rumors of behind-closed-door mediation efforts, with both camps hoping to avoid a prolonged court battle. Meanwhile, sources suggest that producers are working hard to salvage the release timeline without compromising either star's image. Interestingly, some media outlets report that other Hollywood names have reached out privately to both stars, encouraging resolution. The industry thrives on collaboration, and this public division is serving as a cautionary tale for future productions. The emotional core of the story, both the novel and the real-life conflict, speaks to how fragile even the most polished careers can be when passions run high. It's not just a legal war, it's personal, emotional, and deeply tied to identity. So what happens next? If cooler heads prevail, the film may still debut as planned, though with a narrative forever altered by what happened behind the scenes. If not, this conflict could become a Hollywood case study on how quickly artistry can collide with legal realities. In the end, It Ends With Chaos isn't just a clever play on a title, it's a reflection of the complexity behind creating meaningful art in today's hyper-connected world. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are both powerful creatives, each with their own vision, values, and responsibilities. What began as a collaboration now stands as a lesson in communication, compromise, and the emotional toll of artistic expression. The fans deserve closure, both in the form of a completed film and transparency about what went wrong, but above all, the hope is that this serves as a turning point, reminding everyone in Hollywood that stories born from pain and healing must be treated with care, not just contracts. Whether this story ends in reconciliation or remains a cautionary tale, one thing is clear: the emotional, legal, and artistic battles we don't see can sometimes eclipse even the most anticipated movie releases. Stay tuned, because this legal war isn't over just yet.